Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Growing Up Kayfabe. I am your host, Joe. We are the YEET and No YEET of Wrestling podcast, the Yes and No of Wrestling podcast. Another week goes by of Monday, Friday, Tuesday, and the first PLE for John Cena since he's won the title, Backlash. So we're going to talk a little bit about the week just so we can skip right ahead to Backlash. Just addressing the fact that, if you are somebody who watches this podcast, one, as always, I always say I appreciate you. Two, I just haven't posted in the past 2 weeks. It's just hard right now. Trying to work through some things, but I will never give up on this passion that I have about talking about wrestling. And as always, I hope you guys come along for the ride and just make us a part of your daily wrestling podcast update to get some true hard feelings of what we feel like what's been going on over here on this side of Growing Up Kayfabe. That being said, before we get started, hit the like button, share out to a wrestling fan or family member in your life, scroll down to the comments, talk some wrestling talk and comments with us, and then if you're down there, you can see the description. You can check out the show notes, which will give you the timestamps for everything we talk about in specificity. So if you want to hear specifically about Backlash, Tuesday, Friday, certain events, you can go ahead, check the show notes, check the timestamps, and you can skip ahead. For you, you're welcome. That being said, start off with Monday again. Just catch the tidbits, so that way we can get most of Backlash. Really, definitely wanted to do an episode this week because I've been reading the online discourse, and I definitely want to talk about Backlash in general, and I want to talk about WrestleMania from YouTube, and just the way that I feel like the wrestling world in a whole is looking at wrestling right now. And I don't think that's everybody, but I think that's its large popularity, and I just want to address it. So start with the shows though. Monday night, first thing I want to talk about was, where did I have it? I had it right here. It's just a promo. It's just I love the up in the audience promos they do with people, with Karrion Kross, and damn, was that good. Also, shouts out this Monday was from Omaha. I miss Omaha so much, and the crowd was on fucking fire. So unfair. Karrion Kross gives a promo to just kind of talk about Sammy and kind of giving himself, and again, reintroducing himself as Killer Kross, which is really good. Then backstage wise, first, I just want to mention this just simply because of the one name tag dropped. AJ Styles comes to the Judgment Day locker room in the middle of Dominic saying, I miss Liv, I miss her, and it's like, oh, Dom, and the whole Judgment Day is like, what are you talking about? Because I feel like they're on it too. They're like, dude, Liv's using you, bro. What are you talking about? But anyway, I digress. AJ Styles come in, they're all thrown off, and the only person who's not thrown off by AJ Styles coming in is god damn it, is Finn Balor. And the first thing AJ does is look at Finn. He goes, "What's up, Prince?" And I'm like, oh shit, he called him Prince. He called him his old name. That's so cool, dude. And this is the Bullet Club thing. Everybody's talking about Cody and him should have done more. This is what you want to do to relive Bullet Club moments right here. Finn and AJ, tight. Toit. Rusev does his first match, dominates Otis, which is that's whatever, that's fine. Let's keep it going. It seems like they're gonna paint him as a heel, but I've been talking about recently, I almost been hating heel and babyface things so much because it's they care too much about what we chant for in their dynamic. And if Rusev is supposed to be a heel, but we're all chanting Rusev, then maybe they're not gonna make him do the things he's doing anymore, and they'll change his plans, which makes us not cheer for them anymore, because what they were doing we thought was cool, and then they do something else. And I've just noticed that a lot recently for talent, that they're supposed to be a babyface, but they're doing heel tactics, or vice versa, and it's okay, so the crowd's not going to change what they're chanting, so you need to change what they're doing. And I just noticed that WWE does that sometimes, and it's a little frustrating, because it's no, keep them a tweener, or just let us like what we like. If we like bad guys, then turn it to us, like John did. John turning it to us, so we're the bad guys. And I'm like, it's got a point when you think about it that way. Also from Monday, Paul Heyman stealing the show. All anybody was talking about for the next 24 hours was Paul Heyman cutting the toxicity promo of the year, saying that he's the bad guy. He's always the one. He's always the one at fault. Not this time. He's in the right. He's in the right. That's for everybody to debate online, to be honest with you. But he makes a good point. He makes a real good point. And Jey Uso, the facial acting is getting even better. he's got an emotional facial acting, like face like down pat, like he does that squint and like look down and like, you know, second guessing himself. Perfect. Everybody can read it on his face immediately. But this emotion that he had while listening to the wise man, you can see him like wanting to feel bad, but like at the same time like realizing like I can't fall for your tricks because this is probably just another one. It's very interesting. Paul Heyman's a masterclass on the mic every day since he's been in WWE. Tells Jey Uso Seth Rollins deserves a world title shot, and you know that. Jey Uso says he can have it tonight. So we get that, which is crazy that they say it was like the first world title defense on Raw in like a long time, which I can believe. A negative comment about this Monday night would be the Grayson Waller Austin Theory Sheamus thing. When they set up the match, I don't know if it was announced on Twitter that Grayson Waller would be going against Sheamus or not, but when they set it up backstage, it really seemed like Austin Theory was going to go against Rusev. So I was like, oh, funny, that's awesome. Like, Grayson Waller's going to come out, he's supposed to go against Rusev, but instead it's going to be Austin Theory, and Austin Theory doesn't know that it's Rusev. That's hilarious. But instead it was Sheamus, which, you know, everybody loves Sheamus. So it sounds like I'm shitting on the fact, but it almost didn't make any sense, and it feels like the storyline is going even more of nowhere because we just need them to break up. But it's definitely heating up again for the breakup. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's not hard to capitalize on it. All you have to do is, I don't know, have him turn on him already. But the thing is like now they have to build it in because everybody was ready for Austin Theory to be a babyface again. We were ready to cheer for him. If you do it like tonight, like let's say tonight, Monday, they come out and turn, like, and they turn on each other, there will not be as much excitement. I don't think, at least. I may be wrong on that. Io actually has a full match finally against one of the women that she was going against in the week, and this was Roxanne Perez. Roxanne tries to, like, she really got all of us. Roxanne throws the hand for shake the hand. She shakes the hand, bows to Io, and we're like, wow. She leaves the ring. Julia comes in. Bang, takes her out. Roxanne gets back in. They beat the shit out of her with this like weird super kick stomp into the ground combo, which is kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. And who knows what that's about. Like, it's this thing where it's like, are Julia and Roxanne a team now? Are they just like people who have mutual enemies? Like, they seem to be doing everything together. And for the goddamn 100th time, when is Roxanne going up to the main roster? God damn it. Again, me being like that is always funny because it's like, I think Rhea was talking about it, and like I always bring it up. It's like, again, fans get so much more upset than like actual wrestlers about this shit. Like, I'm sure Roxanne's like, I'm on NXT, Raw, and SmackDown like on a regular right now. I'm getting paid bank. I'm doing wrestling and all the biggest shows. It's like, I'm sure she's super happy, but the fans are like, give her a one show already. She's like, yo, back off. And the last two things to talk about from Monday, which of course the Gunther and Pat promo, which was very heated, very emotional. Just with promo itself, built the match a little bit more, which it needed. When it first got announced, I think there was a lot of people who were excited because that's just like what they're a fan of. And the wrestling, maybe purists and other certain wrestling fans like myself were like, I don't see this being good. But with just that one promo, that's all they had. They just had the one promo to build, and man, it was good. And it's because that's what made everybody speculate how the match was exactly going to go. And as we'll talk about later in Backlash, went a lot better than people expected. Jey Uso defends his title against Seth Rollins in a WrestleMania-esque defense where Sami Zayn comes out. You know, Paul and Braun Breaker are all involved in shit. Sami Zayn comes out. He's getting torn to shit. CM Punk comes out. He's ready to fucking fight. He's got a chair. He's ready to fuck somebody up. Ends in DQ, good to go. All is fine. They get them all taken out of the ring. Seth, Braun, and Paul, everybody's gone. Jay and Punk and Sammy stand strong, but then what happens? Black Hood from the crowd knocks out Jey Uso. It's Logan Paul, Jey Uso for Saturday Night Main Event. It's got to be one of the more frustrating things in wrestling right now, in my opinion, is like, we can all say that Logan Paul is a good wrestler, sure. I mean, like, I think that's the one thing where, like, if somebody says he's not, you're like, oh, well, now you're just being a hater at that point. But Logan Paul, nobody wants him there. And this is like the fourth time in a row that even if it is like a character thing, he's done the whole, I am a full-timer now, I want to do this and I'm going to be serious about it. It's like, dude, this is the same time last year that you came around. So it's starting to look like that you're not saying it, that you actually just have a certain schedule that you have. And these are the months that you're allowed to come here and wrestle. So that's what it sounds like more to me. And I think that it's just annoying. I don't care what Logan thinks. I don't care if Logan cares what we think or if Logan doesn't care what we think. The people who are making this happen are WWE. And it's frustrating because we see him put more and more in matches where we would rather see other superstars that we like, and instead they give us Logan Paul. Like, I would rather see almost anybody else on the roster go against Jey Uso, except for they have zero reason to be going against each other except for a joke that Logan made that he was the original creator of Yeet for saying yeah Yeet, and it's like, is that going to be what you base the fight off of? Also, the only thing I'll give WrestleMania credit for this week is that they bring up that it's 2 weeks until Saturday Night Main Event. You got to build tonight. You got to build tonight, and the next week you got to leave us off air with something that makes us think that this match is like even worth watching. Jay and Logan, sure, they're both great wrestlers, but again, wrestling isn't always about just the matches. Like, I love watching the matches just like for the matches as much as anybody else, but there's got to be something behind it. You got to give us something, some meaning to like really feel like the win. I don't know. Not a fan of that. Not a fan. Anyway, this past Friday on SmackDown was also quite the banger. So first thing that you should talk about with SmackDown is something that leads into the weekend, which is R-Truth backstage in the parking area with the sign saying, "Let's go Cena, we can't hear you, let's go Cena." And Jimmy Uso coming up saying, "Yo, Cena sucks." Ron Killings just letting him know, like, "Yo, that's my childhood hero, though." He says, "Never give up." And it's just adorable. It's funny. It's so R-Truth. And then the show finally like picks up, and I think it started with the number one contender match between the women. I'm not too sure, but that's the first thing I want to talk about. Jade versus Naomi was a great match. Don't care what anybody says. And it came off of something I just love to hear, which is just like, I think they're just going to get rid of Charlotte. I think she just wants to go. And I think that she reads the online discourse. I think it affects her. I think she hates it. I think that she knows that she's washed now and nobody wants her around. And I think that's it. I think that she knows, and I think creative knows, that there's not a single thing that they can do that could possibly save her character or make people boo her in a way that isn't go away heat or cheer for her in a genuine way. It's not going to happen. So she comes out and tries to say something, anything, and it feels like it got real for a second. She starts going, she's like, "I want to know what I did. I want to know. I want to know why you guys are so disrespectful. Why are you so disrespectful to me?" And you can, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm like, she went out there to say something else. And when she, like, this is like the umpteenth time that she's let the booze get to her, and she just broke. And then she just left. And it seems like it's supposed to be part of it, because then Jade comes out and they have a little stare off, which again, everybody, like, I don't know if they're picking up on that. I'm like, nobody wants that. That's the thing WWE does. Take two people, put them past each other, let them stare down, and if the fans go crazy, you need to make that match. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants Charlotte for anything. Not for anything at all. If anything, if I want to see Charlotte do anything, I want to see her go against Nia for the hopefully fact that she tries to fight Nia again, and Nia has to show her again, like, "Bitch, I will crush you." That's the only thing I want to see Charlotte do. That's it. Besides leave. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the fact that Naomi came out, fucked with the match, and Nia goes in. And I was saying before the match started, I was like, Nia's gonna win, because everybody keeps thinking, like, the second they see Jade, they're like, "Dude, star power, dude, she's up." I'm like, she literally still just got here. Like, yes, she's from AEW. She still literally just got here, and they plan to make her like one of the biggest stars. You cannot do it like this fucking fast. Like, you really just can't. And like, the bottom, besides even that, besides that, because that can be argued, she still has the beef with Naomi, which now it shows obviously in the episode, and that's going to turn to Jade, and they're going to have eventually the big three-way. They're going to have them face off against each other in a triple threat match, And that's what this is leading to. So anytime you think that Jade, Bianca, or Naomi, until they have a triple threat where with a definitive in, anytime you think they're going to get pushed, think again. Think again. Just telling you, just for now. Just letting you know. Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes was incredible. Everybody's loving Aleister Black, including me. He's on fire. His vignette for the whole, like, I assume this is the part where you want me to speak in riddles. Like, dude's on fire back. And this is clearly one of Triple H's favorites that now he gets to do. They both kind of get to do everything they wanted to do, so that's perfect. Fraxium gets the upset win over Street Profits. Street Profits, I hope you enjoyed the titles while you had them. The only thing that'll make me like you more over Fraxium is if Fraxium's song gets changed and then it's bad just like yours, and then I'll just equally not like your songs, and then I'll just say that you're better than Fraxium again. But as of right now, Fraxium's head and shoulders above Street Profits. I like backstage segments with Fraxium more. I like vignettes with Fraxium more, and their ring action is better than Street Profits. Street Profits, you're still number 2. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Moving on, though, to Zelina Vega and versus Chelsea Green and her secret Hervis, Piper Niven, but there was a secret tag team partner for Zelina Vega, and which spawned the most recent viral moment, fan moment from SmackDown, which Alexa Bliss already replied to, which is a fan just complete. I'm going to post the picture, just completely jaw dropped at the fact that, which, I mean, it really makes everybody happy, because that just shows that, like, 1, he's into the show, 2, he's clearly like such a big Alexa Bliss fan. And if you're a wrestling fan, you know, like, when you go to these shows, you have favorite wrestlers, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be on the show. And it's like, it's a real bummer when you go and you're like, damn, they weren't there. So when you hear your favorite wrestler's music and they come out, it's like, what? So it's it was really awesome to see a genuine reaction like that. Very cool. Again, at this point, we all know what happens at Backlash, but Drew McIntyre, like, everybody saw this LA Knight Solo Sikoa match for the Friday before Backlash, and they were like, okay, so what's going to happen is Drew McIntyre is going to come in and mess the match up, and then Jacob Fatu is going to destroy everybody. And it's exactly what happened. But that's what's the beauty about Jacob Fatu, is, like, you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to say, I'm all gas, no brakes with it. You know he's going to do you know he's going to come in there and destroy everybody. But it's still good. It doesn't matter. That's another one I'm worried about. I think they're turning him babyface in a really good way right now, where he's still very aggressive, but people cheer him even when he's doing bad guy shit. When he's beating up baby faces and just, like, doing very negative shit, people cheer him. So again, that's a product of WWE sometimes seeing that and going, okay, well, now we got to turn you babyface. And it's like, no, let him do heel shit and let us cheer it. Let us be the bad guy. God, have you not learned anything from John Cena? Speaking of John Cena, that's how the show goes off air. John Cena gets out there, cuts another promo, does the whole thing as always. Hey, you messed it up. Get in here, re-say my name. This is the last time you'll see him gracing us with our presence in fucking Dayton, Ohio. The fuck? It was kind of a crazy spot to pick for SmackDown before Backlash in St. Louis. But hey, that is what it is. And, you know, it's the same shit with John. You know, he's going to ruin wrestling. This is our fault. You know, it's the last time him and Randy will wrestle. And it was probably one of his least, like, emphatic promos. Although, as everything John does, it was still good. But what everybody's talking about is the secret Randy Orton who comes out, gets caught by John, and gets attitude adjusted, which, if you still haven't found out by now, it was Sean Spears. Everybody thought it was Miles from NXT, who's Baby Orton, but does not have those tattoos yet, probably. So Sean Spears, shouts out for him getting in there and taking the attitude adjustment, pretending to be Randy Orton. That was awesome. And then actual Randy Orton comes out, sneaky as fuck. He uncrouches from stealth mode, and he RKOs John. And I couldn't believe I was seeing it. It's almost like looking at stupidity right there in front of your face. It's just people online being like, this man's been left dead in the ring by an RKO 3 weeks. This is it, man. He's losing. I'm like, it's like the actual way that they tell you that they're gonna win. It's like the number one way they tell you that some guy's gonna win is if he gets dropped every single time, like leading into the event. Man, my hair's fucked today. I digress. Uh, how's that? That's good. That's good. Whack. But it was beautiful, and everything Randy's been doing leading into this, and I didn't even realize it. Yeah, like they only got like 3 weeks to build this match for like a decade worth of time together. They only got this little bit of time to really make this match. And that makes me want to talk about WrestleMania before I move on to Backlash, which is that just, I don't know, if you watch WrestleMania on YouTube, this isn't just like a shit on them. It's like, I love watching WrestleMania because it gives you news from PW Insider. It gives you news from injuries. It gives you all kinds of news from releases, all kinds of stuff that you, if you're a wrestling fan and you want to know about these backstage things, and it's really good to know. It also makes plenty of videos to let you know, things that shouldn't have happened on a PLE. It lets you know, updates on people. And it's I got 3 million subscribers for a reason. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best wrestling YouTube channels out there for everything he does. Thank you. Not a fan of the American guy, but I just feel like as if when I'm watching, sometimes they say, like, one week they're talking about how great like a product that's going on or a certain wrestler that's like doing something, and the next week it's like it's complete polar opposite where they're just completely against it or like don't like what they're doing anymore. And I just feel as if like they're not very like level anymore. Like, they used to ask questions like, is this a way of them needing to let this cook for a little bit longer? Do they need to go on and do something else? But instead it'll just be like, they need to change this, and now if they want fans to stay interested. And I'm like, and that phrase itself that I'm saying makes it sound like, again, that could be a large thing that they're saying that about anything, but they're saying that about things that it's not that serious. And it kind of brings me to like mixing in with the wrestling community. Like, there's a lot of hate for Backlash recently and the whole last week of wrestling, and I'm like, I just don't see it. From my standpoint, I think wrestling's still been going great. I am as concerned as anybody else is with wrestling because any moment it can go bad again. If you're just now watching wrestling, you have no idea that it was horrible like for like a long time, and that like it was only really watchable for kids and people who really wanted to follow like certain storylines. But it wasn't something that we could keep watching. And any moment, Triple H cannot be there, or TKO could replace, or something can happen that makes this product unwatchable. And that's hard to accept because for the past 2 years now, it's been peak. It's been really, really good. And it just keeps getting better. But there's things that get in the way that I can't, deny, that fans bring up, like ads. So many ads. Ad placement in the actual show. Not just ads outside, but ad placement in there. Like random mascots and stuff that we have to take 2 minutes to go look at for some reason. I don't think that it really negatively affects the product as much as other people are saying. And this whole getting upset about the way things are happening in the moment, when like the number one thing with wrestling is letting it cook. And when people shit on WWE, like, and when they're not having like a great moment or something doesn't get booked the way they like it, I'm like, well, there's literally like 8 other wrestling promotions. If you're not happy right now, go watch them. Or also realize that like when you do watch them, they also have like the same similar dumb bullshit sometimes, because not everybody's perfect all the time. And I understand it's WWE with like this braggadocious billions of record-setting sales every single year and everything. So they should be able to make it perfect, or at least as close to. But I don't think that, like, there's things I don't like that are going on right now, but it doesn't mean that like I think it's so detrimental to the company. And I think people need to stop looking at it like that and stop paying attention to things that like WrestleMania and these other places say, and just take your own opinion for that. Like, when you hear them say some negative shit, like, take it at face value and be like, okay, that does sound bad, but like realistically, like when they talk about like them making the ticket, the price is too much. Yeah, that sucks, but like I don't go see a lot of shows. And so really, I'm sorry if you're a rich person who has money to go pay like hundreds of dollars for these tickets all the time, and you're upset because they're making them couple hundreds dollars more. I don't know, man. I pay for like the $100 ones, like on like section 3. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'll watch it at home or something. And that's something they'll learn from. But like to say that the product's bad because of this, or WWE's failing because of this, or whatever it may be, I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like a really weird standpoint to take for something that you really, really like. And to shit on them so hard and pressure them so hard, it's the exact thing that Triple H doesn't want. He wants to have fun. And you fans that pressure it so hard, like all of us are allowed to have hard standpoints. That's what this podcast, what all wrestling podcasts are about. Hard standpoints on what we feel in storyline and in character building. But to shit on the WWE as a whole when something's not going your way, or a way that maybe you feel it should be going better, that's what these are also for. You get to come on here and express it. Tell your friends, tell the podcast, write it into WWE, put an email in, like let them know, like, hey, I think that this would be good. It'll get to their creative team probably. I just think there's an easier way to like get what you want, or like try to figure out how to make things better in wrestling without just like saying that it's a shit product, or it might fail, or somebody might fail, or they're screwing up big time. I don't know. Just something I was thinking about after seeing so much negativity, which brings me to Backlash, which I thought Backlash, I'll say the negatives first. I was bummed that originally when I saw the first walkout and I saw just the regular entrance that just looked like the regular Raw entrance, I was like, I miss old school Attitude Era, and a little bit of Ruthless Aggression entrance setups. They had Armageddon back in the day. They'd have like the big giant A or a big symbol on fire. Backlash was always be like some big, like kind of like statue thing, or some type of like model or something, and then there would be like in fancy letters or whatever the font would be for that year, Backlash, like written into the statue. I'm trying to think of some other ones that they used to do really cool setups for. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. They used to have really cool sets for pay-per-views back in the day, and I'm like, they just need to bring that back, because it's kind of what's supposed to set. It's a PLE. It's different. People are paying for it. They're subscribing to services for it. You should make it look different. You should make it look like a spectacle. Like, I think that they think that just because they go to fancy arenas and stadiums now, they're like, that's enough. And I'm like, I guess, but it looks like every other show, right? Like, it just looks like every other show with a bigger place. So what's wrong with having a cool big old statue out there, or some fancy type of design all over the wall? That's, I don't know. They save it sometimes for like big 4 PLEs, and I'm like, but what's wrong with boosting up the littler PLEs with just a little bit of stage design? I think you guys can afford it. Again, I think you guys can make it happen. That said, that was my only gripe. And then looking at the match card, there wasn't a single disappointing match on this card. And I'll tell you what, there was a match that I thought was going to be disappointing, and it actually ended up being probably my second favorite match. And I'll start by talking about that, which was Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Halfway through the match, I'm leaned over on the couch, and I'm blown away. And I look back over to my mom's and I go, "This is a beautiful match. This is art right here." They've been going at it. It's hard sometimes. Wrestlers always say on podcasts and things like that they're telling a story within the wrestling match. And sometimes it's hard to grasp. Like, if you know that fact, like, I'll be watching a match and be like trying to figure out, like, what are they trying to tell here? And sometimes it's easy because they've set it up already through moments and microphone interactions. But with this one, it was kind of set up with that. And then everything really came to in the match. Man, it was interesting. And it was a finally a match that can like boost not only Lyra, but the IC title. So shouts out to Becky and Lyra, who Becky was able to boost this title without even actually taking it, thus shutting down so far that doesn't work for me, Hogan Becky rumors. So that's good. But shouts out to that match, man. I'm very excited that match went so well. Everybody knew the fatal 4-way between Fatu, Priest, LA Knight, and who was my other man in the fatal 4-way? Who was the other guy? Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Okay, I said everybody. My bad. Everybody knew that was going to be a banger, which incredible. I missed that match, went back and watched it, and I will say I understand people kind of being confused. I saw a TikTok of somebody explaining Jeff Cobb for like what seemed like no reason to me. So I was like, okay, the Jeff Cobb guy seems pretty cool. Yeah, looks like he's beat a lot of people. Looks like he's done a lot in indie wrestling. Looks like he's a beast. And then I see he came out to join Solo Sikoa. So I feel like if I was in the moment seeing that, I would have been a little disappointed. Like, oh, okay, who is this guy? But since I knew it was Jeff Cobb, I was like, oh man, this is tight. This is good. And watching it back, it did feel there was a lot of cheers. I feel like there was a lot of people in that crowd who knew who Jeff Cobb was, compared to the online interaction of being like, sorry, but who the fuck is this guy? And it's like, well, okay, you don't know him doesn't mean you don't have to. It doesn't mean you have to hate it, you know. So I'm sure there was a bunch of people who didn't know who the fuck Tama Tonga was when he came out, but you loved it. Yeah. Our boy, the greatest Mysterio of all time, the greatest IC champion of all time, Dominic Mysterio, defeats Penta clean. Another clean victory for our boy. Okay? Sure, the Judgment Day came out, but remember, they got kicked out of the ring. They out of here. Okay? So just don't forget that. That was a clean match. There was some other lucha guy that came around. People were trying to, again, a lot of this whole, it was Chad Gable. El Grande Americano showed up. Okay, so just know this. Judgment Day didn't help Dom cheat. Dom didn't want the help. That was El Grande Americano. That's a clean win for Dom right there. Okay. Shouts out Dom hitting the Oblivion. That's like one of the bigger talking points of the night too, is Dom hitting the Oblivion. It's like, nice. I wonder if he ever hit the Riptide on anybody when he was with Rhea. I doubt it. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. And the last two matches of the night, Gunther versus Pat McAfee, which again was probably another one where everybody was like, this could go really, really bad. My assumption for this match, which was the same as on my podcast Tribal Chief, I was assuming that Pat, it would start kind of neutral, a little messing around. Pat would get the better of Gunther because Gunther's going to underestimate him, do some moves here and there, and then Gunther was going to really beat the shit out of him, like really brutalize him. Like one of those silence the crowd. Nobody knows if we should be cheering. Nobody knows if there's a work or a shoot. Nobody knows. Didn't necessarily get that. Got like a little bit of that where Pat, first of all, I knew Pat wasn't going to win the moment he got there. You want to know why I knew? Because he walked out with fucking whatever that top was that he eventually took off, and jeans and fucking looks like Jordans probably. He if he came out with the with the shorts and the knee pads and the elbow pads and the tank top, that Pat wins every single week. I would have had a lot of faith in Pat if he would have came out like that. But since he came out like this, I was like, nah, he's coming out like he's gonna go to the booth afterwards. Like, nah, that's whack. But it still was a good match, even with Pat slipping up a bunch. He's not an experienced wrestler, so you get to be like, well, he's pretty inexperienced. Like, he's had some matches in NXT, but like doesn't mean he's like perfect at this. So him slipping and falling kind of like helped the match essentially. And again, what made it cinema is Cole coming over to the side of the ring, and at one point trying to help Pat win, which we all thought he was going to win after that. And Cole getting emotionally invested without making himself the center of attention in the match was incredible. Emotionally invested in a match is what they just did to you. And at the end, now you're leaving questions, which is a good questions. It's not like it's not like well, what do we do? Gunther gives Pat you did good. I appreciate you trying hard. And then leaves. So now what do we get? Is Gunther babyface in it? Because if you set up Gunther babyface, you can do Goldberg. Because nobody wants to cheer for Goldberg. Well, I don't know. Maybe if they put him in the right place, maybe people do. I don't know. I really don't know. But whatever's next for Gunther, it should be good. Last thing to talk about, John Cena, Randy Orton for the very last time. One thing I want to point out about it is the whole thing is beautiful. I couldn't look away from the screen when they're both walking out. I almost wish it was John Cena's original entrance instead of this heel thing that he's doing, but still very happy to see that. And then the thing I wanted to bring up was what caught my attention, and I've watched like a dozen times in replays, is the moment where they're staring off in the ring against each other, and John's in the corner, and he's just kind of like looking down. He's always got the hat perfectly tilted to where it's like covering this part of his face, and he's just looking down, and he's not making eye contact with Orton at all. Any other time you look, babyface Cena, direct eye contact, anger, looking around at the crowd. He's looking down at his feet as he like kind of shuffles left and right. He was dropping a lot of hints in this match, and especially at the end, as everybody saw, that this is starting to get to him already. Which is why, because we're gonna have the babyface turn in the next few months here, like sometime before December. So, it's good to drop the hints now. But the match, man, it went better than we thought. You know, they could have just done hit the classics, get out of there. Everybody thought that it was going to be a hit the classics. John slapped the ref for a DQ. And instead we're getting it looks like it's going to be a constant in John's matches where the ref gets taken out a number of times and John will cheat to win. Randy hitting the RKO on Nick Aldis. Fucking don't know who the next guy was. Hurricane Helms. Jamie Noble. Everybody got RKO'd. And again, looking back at Amy was not giving this match praise. It's simply because they were like, oh, John took like 5 RKOs just to like not get pinned. And I'm like, because the ref was knocked out. What do we do? That's wrestling. That's what wrestling is. Why are we shitting on that? And they're like, oh, and the ref miraculously sprang to life when John hit his. And I'm like, John also got fucked by the ref. There was times where John was pinning and there was no ref to count. And eventually John got the AA and pinned. Like, I was so confused as to why WrestleMania would shit on that part when I'm like, that's basic wrestling right there. The ref gets taken out. The good guy goes for the pin. There's nobody there to count it. He's already hit his finish like 4 times. There's nobody to count it. The bad guy hits the finisher. Boom. It's not like the bad guy didn't like was gonna like insta kick out or anything. He was pinned. That's the whole point of it. That's what sets up things for later on. Ugh. Just don't overanalyze shit like that, man. Like, if you're gonna overanalyze, try to do it in a nice positive way. Overanalyzing in a negative way gets you nowhere. It just takes you out of wrestling. It's ridiculous. Grow up, dude. Ugh. John gets the pin. The ref comes over. I was talking about earlier in the night too that like these refs when they're hurt, I think they move too quick. And I was bringing up Mike Chioda, who would fucking, you know, he'd get nutshotted and he'd drag himself like he's dragging through sand and lava, and then he would raise his hand high into the air and drop it down. And then he would like almost like pass out, and then he'd do the same thing. He'd bring it real high, like he's like raising like a 100-pound weight, and then he'd boom drop that weight onto the ground, and then he would raise it high for that 3rd count, and then he would do it, and they would kick out. And it was so dramatic and emphatic that these other refs, the guy who did the last count, looked eerily similar to the way Mike Chioda did it. So I really appreciated that. That's a me thing. I noticed that. I'm picking that out. It was fun. I liked it. That being said, I enjoyed Backlash. Short PLE, not enough stage presence, which is fine. I think it had just a perfect amount of matches. Oh man, we didn't even get to talk about Ron. We can't leave without talking about R-Truth. R-Truth interferes in the match too. He gets RKO'd. Randy's about to punt John. R-Truth runs into the ring, says, "Don't do it." Randy's like, "What are you doing here? No. And then RKO out of nowhere. He's like, he takes the 5th RKO, and that's when John hits the nut shot, hits the title against the head. And at first, when I watched this on the post match, their little presser, I thought it was funny because it was funny, and it is funny. But social media has a good way of letting you know that like this was actually supposed to be emotional, whether it was or not, like that, or that it can be. And when they put that music behind Ron, and you watch a clip of him holding the "Let's Go Cena" sign from the night before, him helping Cena not get punted that night, and him going out there and saying, "John, I am so proud of you, and you know what? I never gave up, just like you said, and I always supported you, even though they say you can't wrestle." And it's just such a sweet moment, and what makes it even better is the breaking character for John. John breaks character for just a second to laugh because you can't not laugh at R-Truth. And John has to remember that like he can't laugh right now. Gets up, and he calls him Ron. Ron, if you say another thing, there will be repercussions. Poor R-Truth. I just wanted to tell you. R-Truth takes an attitude adjustment through the table. And even sadder, like Truth really does a good acting part where like there's microphones around the table that are crushed. So he just quietly goes, and he's selling really good. It's sad, and it really boosted back. If there was any It's the rule. You can go back to when Judgment Day stuff was happening with R-Truth. It's the rule. Are you here with your heat level? Were you here, but now you're here and it's dwindling? Beat up R-Truth. You will skyrocket. The world hates you if you beat up R-Truth, especially if he likes you. You don't do that. You don't do that to R-Truth. So, very interesting to see what's going to happen this week. We have 2 weeks to build a Saturday night main event, which will be another thing. People kind of shitting on Saturday night main event. I'm like, I don't know, man. It is too much wrestling, and it does not. It is. I'd rather have more build to the next PLE afterwards, which is another 2 weeks after that. So, but we'll see, man. Let's just, in my opinion, my message here is just like, let's just stay positive about what's going on. You know, it could be much worse. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. There will be very little editing. I'm just going to pop this guy up and get it out there. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Next week, we'll be back with full editing, full photos, everything. And I'll see you next week with some more Wrestle Talk. Bye, guys.